Saw the money and got activated. Saw the money and got activated. Saw that money and got activated. I saw that money and got activated.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, boys. I don't have a socket deep enough to be able to... This video is jumping all over the place. I just realized that. So the plan right now is to try to lower the front, but as of right now it's not looking like it's going to go the best. Because this thing's so freaking low, it's hard to crank on anything. I don't know. I'm going to try to freaking break loose this thing. I had to cut it off because it's like super deep. I don't have a deep enough socket. Sick. Go. Oh, I almost died.
I guess it's really not that much lower. I mean, it's kind of lower, but I thought this side was going to be a lot more higher.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does look a lot. Yeah, you're right. I guess it didn't lower it a whole lot. You can go lower though. You have to re-index it. I'll have to look up how to do that then. So we can go lower. I don't know though. I'll have to see how big a 195 is.
What's on right now? 205.
205. As long as that... One more.
There's 3? God damn.
Well, the one we have left is the one we got loose. I'm pretty
So
sure.
technically you got 4 more.
Yeah, technically. Unless we can somehow rip the bumper off to where we can cut the bracket and leave the bracket on there.
Move it.
I'm just gonna go sit on any bumper. Oh! I'm so tired of it. I might as well just cut the rest of the way through it. Yeah, it's not doing anything. The bitch is on there, dude. I mean, it's like most of the way through it. What?
Watch out.
Do it again. Try to wiggle it back and forth.
You sure you got all three?
Yeah. Because this one got like cut down to where like the very smallest part of the bolt is still like attached somehow. It's like welded on almost.
Try bang it with a hammer. Can you like stick something like a screwdriver in there and hit it? What if you hit the bracket from this way, like out that way?
What?
What if you hit the bracket from this side, like towards you?
Maybe, but it'd fall on me.
What?
Probably fall on me.
So.
There it went.
Dope.
Alright, hold on. Hardest bumper by far I've ever taken off in my life.
Was it worth it?
I mean, yeah, it's always worth it.
Now it needs a roll pan.
Nah, it looks good with that one. Once it's dropped, I think I can fix that right there. You can get inside there.
It's a drift missile.
Yeah, I don't really care. I'm just gonna tap it against the wall anyways, right? Dude, that was a lot of work for a fucking bumper. What's sad is the lowering kit is probably gonna take half the time that took. Like that is ridiculous. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna box in the back half of the frame. Like I'm gonna take a piece of steel and run it across, so it ties the frame together. It's a lot stronger.
Yeah, because that frame's weak.
Well, yeah, I mean, let alone is it rusty, but they're weak from the factory. I don't want to look at another cutting wheel for the next 3 days. Okay, so the last you saw yesterday, we were taking off the bumper and all that stuff. So today we're starting on the lowering kit. I don't have the stuff yet, should be here tomorrow, but I'm gonna start getting it ready and welding the diff also. So the main biggest thing you want to do before with these trucks when you're welding the diffs, number one, spray everything down with PV blaster before you even start working on it. Number two, make sure this can break loose before you even think about draining the fluid out, because if you do this one first and then this one seized or strips, you're gonna screw yourself. So I made sure this broke loose. This one actually is loose too, and I'm kind of eager to see what this fluid looks like. So I guess we'll find out. Okay, so when you pull this gear set out, you have to unbolt these 4 bolts and pull the axles out on the ends. So you're going to want to take this brake line off. And this guy should just slide right out. It's just getting stuck on the gasket. So you just pull that out like that. Just a small FYI, I had to learn the hard way, but if your truck is like not jacked it up that high, it's like super hard to get this out without hurting yourself. I about like broke my arm because it was pinched between the arm and the ground and this. Luckily I wedged it back in there and then grabbed the jack and then had to finagle it out through there, but got the diff out. I'm hoping I have brake clean somewhere so I can clean off all the gear oil and then start laying some welds on this thing. This is what she looks like. I actually like this design because it allows you, actually it's kind of stupid. Actually no, not really, because it beats having to pull a pinion nut off. So I don't know how it all works. Oh no, there's still a pinion bolt. So yeah, that's kind of a dumb design. Now that I think about it, pretty stupid. But yeah, got the diff out, weld this thing up. Okay, so one mistake I made while welding the other side on this that you guys should take note of. So remember that you're gonna have some splatter and stuff. So what happened with when I did the other side is it splattered down on the ring gear and on the pinion, and it was making it hard to rotate, so I had to go through and clean each gear out because it gets this little, see the little splatter stuff. And another thing is put like a screwdriver handle inside these axle slots because it does pop down inside there too, and the last thing you want is some splatter welds to get on the splines and then not be able to fit the axle back in. So just something to take note of because I didn't realize that until I did it. So alright guys, so a little frustrated because I made a rookie mistake. This is obviously my first time ever welding a diff, and there was like a video I watched a while back, like it wasn't, I didn't look up like how to weld a diff, but in the video the guy just happened to be welding a diff, and in the video there's like that little silver piece in between the two spider gears that you're welding together, and it like sits in there loosely. Well, he was like, you can just weld, you don't have to, because some people will put a piece of metal in there and then weld the metal to all the gears, and he's like, you don't have to do that, you can just weld to this metal piece right here. So me being the idiot I am, just remembered seeing that, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do that instead of wasting time to cut a piece of metal. While I do that when I can just weld to this. Well, I didn't think about it, but that sits loosely in there, and what it does is when each axle goes in, it butts against it, and it's kind of like a floating piece. So when you weld it, obviously you're not going to have it perfectly center because it's pretty hard. You can't, there's no way you could hold it. So like when I welded it to one side, and then when I welded it at an angle, so one side was closer and the other wasn't. So what that caused was the axles wouldn't slide all the way in. And I mean, I put some welds on that thing, so there was no cutting it free. There was no it was gonna need a new diff pretty much. So I was like, dang, I got super upset. I was like, man, I have to get a new diff. But it is what it is, kind of thing. Like everybody learns. So then I started doing some research, and everyone's like, oh yeah, you can just trim a 1/4 inch off the end of the axles because they have like more than enough spline engagement. So I had to pull the axles completely out of the tubes, and then I just cut a 1/4 inch off of each one, and so far they slide in and everything works good. Really the real test will be is if it holds up like driving wise. So I don't know if I have any diff fluid here. Wait. Oh, I do. I wonder if it's enough though. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put some in, drive it a couple times, and then flush it, and then put some more back in because I want to try to get all the junk out from when we welded everything. So, because I know all that's, I know I didn't get everything out. So, yep, that's my current dilemma per se. So, getting ready to bolt all the axle back up, and then bolt the drive shaft back up and stuff. And then once I do that, I'll put it in gear and make sure everything's fine after I add fluid. But yep, don't do what I did. Take that as a lesson. Use metal when you weld the gears. It happens though. Oh well. so welding the diff was a success. In the air at least. We haven't put any actual, you know, drag on it, which will be a big difference and really test the strength of everything. I didn't have enough diff fluid. I literally filled it up just barely enough, and so we just put it in gear and let it rotate for a little bit, probably not even a minute, so it shouldn't hurt anything. But now that we got that done, I'm going to clean up in here. I spilled gear oil. I got gear oil all over me too. It's the worst. Clean up this mess, and then I'm going to start getting everything off so that tomorrow when the lowering kit comes in, we can just slap it on and go about our day. So tomorrow I am going out of town for work, and then I have a really big meeting in the afternoon tomorrow too, so won't get home till later tomorrow, but I'll still probably come in here and throw that lowering kit on and maybe drive the truck to work on Monday if everything goes well when we put the kit on, and that's if the diff and everything's good. I'm crossing my fingers and praying that the diff and everything will be okay. So we'll see. Yeah, should be good. We'll see, I guess. I definitely think my welds are strong enough because I put more than what was necessary, I'm sure. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna start doing that, and I'll catch up with you guys. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for tonight. This should be like the rough, hang on, let me get this thing to focus. Okay, this should be like the rough ride height. I think it might sit like maybe an inch taller, maybe. I just kind of mocked it up, so everything's loose. The axle's just sitting there floating right now, and then that way when my blocks and stuff come in tomorrow, all I gotta do is throw them in, tighten everything down, and it'll be good to go. I really want to drive it to work tomorrow, so I'm hoping I can get this side polished and get the decals off of it so it doesn't look weird driving it around. And then I think maybe this weekend I might try to tint the windows myself. Okay guys, so we got our parts in for the lowering kit from our guys at Speedway Motors. This wasn't from them, but this is our eraser wheel that we buy, because the ones at AutoZone are like $40 and they're no different. Like literally that one lasted me a really long time. So that I think was like $10. You really can't beat that. Amazon Prime too, so. But yeah, we're gonna unbox this stuff and then get it on the truck. Okay, so this is our package we got from Speedway Works. Looks like we got some stickers. This looks like receipts. It looks like these must be the blocks. And I assume these are our U-bolts, which I'm not 100% positive if these are going to be the right width. I'm actually really worried about that. Looking at it right now, they seem to be a bit wide. But yeah, I guess we'll see here in a second. So I'll show you guys the blocks real quick. Should just be your basic block. Nothing special. Yeah, just an aluminum block, 4-inch block. So this will be a 4-inch drop kit. Okay, so I just compared these to the stock ones, and they're like maybe a 1/16 inch wider on one side, on each side. So maybe an inch, 1/8 inch overall, but these have flex in them, so you can like bend them in. So I'm hoping that doesn't cause us any problems, but I think we should be fine. Those are really short, so they bend in easy. I think we'll be fine with these. I guess we'll find out, but I think we'll be fine. So, gonna take this wheel off since that was on for test purposes. Set these blocks in there, and then hopefully we should be ready to rip after that. Okay, so we got our lowering blocks on. No real trick to these. Pretty much just slap them on and then throw the U-bolts on. Obviously the U-bolt ended up working out for me. So the next thing on this truck is definitely going to be a set of shocks. I just kind of wanted to get a rough idea of the ride height before I bought shocks for it. So and then obviously probably end up, or we most definitely are going to be getting a rear sway bar for this, and then boxing in this back side of the frame across to stiffen it up a little bit. God, this thing looks sick. It's actually pretty low. With the stock wheels, the fitment isn't like the best, but I plan on going 15 by 10s with a stretch tire, so we're gonna be fighting our battles with as low as it is right now. So I think this will probably be the ride height for a while until I decide that I don't want 15 by 10s and I go with like a more of a tucked look. But yeah. We're working on getting the decals off. We just got this section and this section. The battery to the drill died, so we're going to start polishing and buffing this side. And then once we get that done, we're going to mount the license plate. And then I got to run and get gear oil, and then we can go for our first drive. Okay, so we got the truck back in the garage. It's kind of polished on this side, but for some reason it still keeps getting dusty. So looks better than it was, but for some reason I completely forgot that we had to bleed the brakes, and then when I went to drive it in here, I about freaking smacked that wall. So I don't have anybody that can help me bleed the brakes right now, and I really want to drive this tomorrow, so I think we're going to try to gravity bleed them. And yeah, so if we can at least gravity bleed them to where the pedal's halfway decent, that works for me. So